Hi, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the Nomad Investment Partnership letters that were written by Nick Sleep. Um, those are fairly well-known letters within the investment community anyways, because they do a really good job of giving us an insight into like how Nick Sleep is thinking about his investment or his investment decisions in real time. So the investment letters were written between 2001 and 2014, I believe, and that's 13 years of wisdom packed into 225 pages. Um, yeah, if you haven't read them before, you should definitely check them out. Sleep himself is actually a really good writer. He's a really entertaining writer. I mean, for that, on that basis alone, it's worth a good read. But another reason for checking them out is just because, yeah, you do see, one of the greats, investing greats, just share his thoughts on investing. And it's interesting to see kind of like how his investment philosophy kind of evolves over time. And then the third reason for checking this out and reading the letters is because yeah, he says, like, initially these letters were really only meant for the people who were investing in his fund, but because they're just so coveted and packed with knowledge, it became coveted by a lot of different people. Uh, and you saw a lot of bootleg copies kind of like floating around on the internet. Um, he decided that the best thing to do was to just make them public. So you can see here, I'm going to give you this web address where you can actually download the letters for yourself. Um, at the very beginning of the letters, he mentions that, if you do get anything out of these letters, to please, reciprocate by making a donation to his charitable foundation. So if you go to the website and you download the letters, um, please consider making a donation. Or even if you see this video, which is going to be, a very quick summary of the 225 pages of the Nick Sleep letters, please consider going to his website and making a donation. But with that, I'll start digging into the summary of the Nomad Investment Partnership letters written by Nick Sleep. So to try and get a really quick summary of this of the Sleep letters, it's not really easy to do. There's 13 years of information there. 225 pages, but kind of break it down. I think the best thing to do would be to think of this in terms of a couple ways. This is kind of how it's going to be broken down. First off, Sleep talks about three competitive advantages that investors have. And those three competitive advantages are informational for one. Second one is analytical. And the third one is behavioral. So I'll touch on those three competitive advantages a little bit, and then I'll talk a little bit more about the last one a little bit more, because you can really, divide that last one, behavioral competitive advantage, into what Sleep decides is four different categories unto themselves. So those four categories are basically groupthink or group psychology, so avoiding that bias to think like everyone else. The second one, subcategory there, is avoiding the availability bias, so like having the information that is readily available to you and using that to make your decisions. The third one is to think in terms of probabilities. that one unto itself is could also be divided into yet more categories, and I'll probably end up doing some more videos on that later on. But yeah, that's the other one. And then the fourth one in the subcategories for behavioral is really simple. It's just patience and having time on your side. So there's that. And then after that, I'll probably look at a couple of companies that he talks about quite vividly in the sleep letters throughout the years, to kind of give you an idea of his evolution and his investment philosophy. They really start off looking at cigar butts and using that to kind of like guide their investment decisions. He ends up like investing in Zimbabwe in a couple different companies there, but yeah, you can get a taste for his cigar butt hunting days through that, and then also take a look at like Costco, and that ends up kind of being like his the investment one, the businesses that he kind of looks at as being superior businesses, and before the fund actually closes, he ends up saying like, there's really only three businesses that he's going to be investing in, and that's Berkshire Hathaway, Amazon, and Costco. And he talks a lot about Costco, so you can kind of get a sense for his investment philosophy and how it changes from cigar butts to companies like compounders, really just compounders, like Costco. So yeah, that's going to be the basics of that video. So here we go.